Hi, Steve Draper here in my workshop in Bellevue, Nebraska for Shopsmith Mark IV 7520. This is the last video in the series on doing rails and stiles on your Shopsmith. We've so far gone through and we've done them using the stacked dado set. This is one of the blades from that. We've done it on the molder, both the 3 3/4 or the 5 3/4 inch molding head. We've also done it here on the shaper. So I want to talk here in this video about the differences in the results and what I prefer for methods to do. So I've kind of did a little training aid here to show you the difference in doing in each of the cutters. And first of all, I'm going to start here with the shaper. You can see here it's the smallest diameter. And all of these cuts here, as you see here, are all a 1/2 inch in depth. They're all the same depth. And you can see here how much material gets removed on the shaper. And this line right here represents the angle of the cut at that point where it leaves the edge of the stock. And you can notice here that if we go to the 3 3/4 inch molder, that takes off a lot more stock on each pass going by. And also you can see that the angle at which it does when it exits the wood is a lot lower angle. So we get a cleaner cut when we're using the 3 3/4 inch molder. If we go to the 5 3/4 inch molder head, which that's the one you can use on your Power Pro, we get even more material that's taken off on each pass, and you get an even lower angle of incidence here when it leaves the stock. So consequently, you're going to get the smoothest cut here on the 5 3/4 inch molder, the next smoothest on the 3 3/4 molder, and then the least smooth doing on the shaper. And then of course on the stacked dado, that's a little bit different. We're doing a little bit different method, but still with this large diameter, you get nice clean cuts on that, just as clean as what you're going to get doing on the molder. So you can see what my logical conclusion is here. I prefer using the molder over using the shaper. And you watched me when I did the running through. The other reason I like the molder better than the shaper is there's a lot less adjustments you have to make on the molder. You saw how many adjustments I had to do on the shaper to get it to turn out correctly. So it's a lot more time consuming, a lot more finicky, and the adjustments are not as easy to make on the shaper. On the molder, it's a whole lot easier. And actually, it's a lot more fun. I know that when I'm doing these operations, I'm a bit more skittish doing the shaper than when I am doing the molder because my hands are nowhere near the cutter head on the molder like I would be on the shaper. And so I would say that the molder is actually a safer operation also than the shaper. So many of you over the years have not learned how to do it on the molder, and Shopsmith traditionally has really only pushed doing it on the shaper and has not really pushed doing it on the molder. But you can still get a molder head today from Corob cutters and all of the knives that go with it. Also, the other thing I like is the knives are a whole lot easier to sharpen on a molder than they are when you want to sharpen the shaper cutters. So that's my take on the preference on different ways of doing this, and hopefully you'll try and do it on the molder. If you haven't tried it already, I encourage you to do it. In any case, that's it for this video. That's it for this series on doing the stiles and rails. There'll be an accompanying video that goes with this on doing the panels, and there'll be several videos that go along with that as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.